Welcome back to Law and Crime. Nobody's doing as good as us in covering these trials because we have two great guests. And guys, we only got a couple of minutes left, so I'm going to turn the show over to you. We'll start with Tracy. Thoughts about the whole case, where we are, where we've been, and where do you think we're going?
I really think motive. That's what I keep saying about this case. That's something that really hasn't been discussed. It's something that, quite frankly, is missing. They have a lot of digital data, a lot of forensic data, and quite frankly, a lot of biological evidence as well. However, the motive seems to be missing. And I think the prosecution really needs to be focusing on that. I know you don't necessarily need that to convict, but again, I think it will bode a long way with jurors if they want to be successful in obtaining a conviction here.
Yeah, and Miguel, not that what Tracy said is nails on a chalkboard to me, because it's not. She's right, 1,000%. Motive is not an element of an offense. That does not have to be proved. But like she's saying, its motive is still so important in a case like this. So, and so I don't agree with you. I shouldn't say it's nails on a chalkboard. It's nails when people say it doesn't need to be proven, and then they end. They don't talk about how important it is. She did. What are your thoughts?
I totally agree with Tracy. You don't have to prove the motive or show a motive, but here's the thing: the jurors, they're they're people just like everybody else, and they want to know why, right? Why, if these two deceased were in the same group, in the same musical group as the defendant, why would he shoot them, right? Was it for gangs? Was it for money, profits? What was going on? Business disputes? So I think it's super important that they get to that why, because everybody wants to know why did it happen?
Well, Tracy, let me go back to you. Why did it happen? And what really shocks me about this, let's keep in mind, this is a death penalty case. And even if they get a capital murder conviction, it goes into the sentencing phase, the penalty phase. And one of the aggravating factors is that this was a gang-related shooting. I don't know. Where's the beef? I don't know where the evidence is, whatever. Maybe it's that, maybe it's something else. If we don't have motive in a case like this, how do they get to that significant aggravating factor to justify the death penalty? And if they can't, why is this a death penalty case?
I think you hit the nail on the head. And I know it's like nails on a chalkboard. And again, you don't have to have this to convict someone. I get it. But again, you've got these aggravating factors that they've brought into play here. And if they can't prove that why, particularly in the gang offense, then they've essentially overcharged him, over-sentenced him, if you will. And that will be problematic and can result in a not guilty verdict.
Yeah, well, let me ask you, Miguel, and we're going to give you the last couple of seconds here. This now no longer has to be proven by 12 people. The law has changed, and now only 8 people have to vote with the death penalty. Is it possible we're going to start getting more death penalty verdicts that we previously would not have gotten on weaker evidence because we've lowered the standard? And if so, what do you think our appellate courts will do with that, including the U.S. Supreme Court? I've got about 45 seconds.
I think it's going to keep the appellate courts very busy. The fact that it's lowered down to 8 means that you're right, there's going to be people that are going to be convicted on weaker evidence, and that's problematic, right? Because, I mean, we're talking about the ultimate punishment, right? And so I definitely think that it's probably going to be something that's going to go to the Supreme Court. I really think that this is going to be an issue that's going to be revisited. 8-4 seems, it's right. Troublesome.
Yeah, well, this is exactly the reason. If you keep lowering the standard down, I guess eventually, even though the quality of the evidence may be weak, you're eventually going to get somebody to say vote for the death penalty. Maybe we should go down to 2 or 1. I don't know. Guys, thanks very much. That's it for us.